Hey guys doing? It's Ian the Chosen coming to you guys. Um I want to try to make this video as raw and realistic as possible and to discuss, specific issues and my experience and things along that line. So, judging by the title of this video, yeah. This is probably not something you guys have heard me talk about a lot. If you know me, then you know that this is kind of, my thing. Um, the video is titled Why I Hate the Porn Industry. I hate it. It is so toxic, vile, and evil, and people just treat it like it's just like it's just a thing, it's just something to watch online, and you have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes. Let me tell you something. A lot of times when we think about these things, there are so many issues that happen inside of that realm. There is issues of human trafficking. There is issues like after effects and results that continue as you would have guessed, diseases, suicidal thoughts, drug issue, all of that. That's the side of stuff that people don't see. You only see what people and these websites allow you to see. You know what I'm saying? There's all of these different things, exploitation, coercion, all of that stuff, Um, And a lot of the times, there's probably people who will be thinking, why should I feel bad for them? This is the life they chose. Nah, let me tell you something. And you guys know me as a musician. Let me tell you some things about the music industry, all right? When people sign contracts a lot of times for record labels and stuff like that, a lot of times, and of course not every label is like this, but we know that there are the labels who, when people sign, recording contracts and all that stuff, you know, they're being fed all of this stuff, oh, all these great things are gonna happen, you're gonna go places, kid, you know? A lot of the times they don't see the in-between. All they see is the start, which is signing the contract, and they see the after, which is, the private jets, the limos, the fast cars, the houses, the arenas filled with people screaming your name, I'm saying, the touring, all of these different things. They're not seeing the in-between. They're not seeing the lack of freedom, which pretty much is paparazzi following them everywhere, just waiting for them to slip up so that they can get it on video and show the whole world, or photos. They're not seeing the long, restless hours of work and things like that till they're pretty much like running on empty. Um they're not seeing a lot of the in between. And one of the worst things is they're not seeing how they're being taken advantage of. They don't Managers and stuff like that, they don't see them as people. They don't see them as they see them as dollar signs. And a lot of times you want to get out of it. It's like, oh, you can't do that. We have a contract. Do you think the porn industry is any different? There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes of the industry, and a lot of these people that sign these contracts, they're not seeing the in between. All they're seeing is the money. Let me tell you, I looked this up the other day. Like, people in the porn industry, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the best, they make up to $67,000 a year. But a lot of times they're not thinking about the humiliation. They're not thinking about all of these different things. And the way that they are poorly treated is unreal. One video basically where this woman said that she said that, like, you know, when she was signing contracts, they were, you know, feeding her all this stuff, you know. If you don't want to film a scene or you don't feel comfortable with something, just, well, I don't know if they said film the scene, but they said if you don't feel comfortable with something, just let us know. Okay, she signs the contract. She says she's not comfortable with something, and then all of a sudden they say she's being difficult. And then there was one time where she didn't want to do something, so guess what they did? They basically said they dropped her off, like, and it's dark out at nighttime. They took her shoes and they took her phone. And all she was basically dropped off in, like, this agricultural area. Basically, pretty much probably having to find her own way back. And she's walking outside in a pair of workout shorts and a sports bra. You're fed all of this stuff at the beginning that, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of you. All of a sudden, you do what they said, and then you say, okay, you said say this, and he's like, oh, you're being difficult, you know? Oh my gosh, one of the worst things I heard was this, basically saying, you have to learn how to behave. Behave. I'm sorry, am I a dog? Learn how to behave? What? Learn how to behave. And a lot of times they make these girls and people like that do these scenes while having injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, I said that. And, like, even the story, Jessica Rogers, former star, basically said she had multiple times where she got where she basically had to go to the hospital. I know probably people think that's funny. No, that's reality. That's how dangerous a lot of this stuff is. And people have just eaten that up just as entertainment. And unfortunately, I've played my own role in this stuff when I was a teenager. Pretty much, I guess it started when I was 10, but when I was 11, it was the first time I actually seen, you know, intercourse happening. And when I was 13, pretty much all the way up to 18 years old, I was basically watching porn, and I just thought it was okay and stuff like that, you know? And, like, you see these women who have, like, on the cameras, all that stuff with smiles on their faces, but there's a confession of an ex-star said, you know, you see them with smiles on their faces and most likely they're miserable. People know, like, I know there's some people who know Mia Khalifa, and she basically talked about, you know, she regrets it because now she's only, you know, when people so much as look at her, she could be fully clothed, but people are already undressing her with their eyes. And she's only one Google search away, she said. You know, a lot of times we always look at them like, oh, they brought it on themselves. Like, they brought it on themselves. How about we actually pray for people instead of condemning and throwing stones at people? And the worst thing a lot of you do not realize what it is that you're watching. Y'all don't understand what it is that you're watching when you see these things. And another thing, it's like there is the issue of trafficking that happens in this area. How do you know that that girl that you're watching, how do you know she's actually 18 years or older and not somebody who's the age of like a freshman, sophomore, or junior in high school? Don't let her body type fool you. Don't let that body type and that amount of makeup fool you. Don't let it fool you. Do you think that that can't happen? You think that that's not a possibility? You think that anybody who's any random creep or anybody in that area of like the traffickers as easily, and I don't even want to say that, but they're paying for that girl. You don't think that they also have access to a camera and a computer? That's how a porn works. You have no clue what you're watching. You have no idea how poorly these people are treated. There was one confession where like this girl basically said, I think she said that one dude had a foot on her head. And basically she said the other girls in the video were crying because they were in pain. And she said that, you know, she was asking them, please turn the cameras off, but the dudes are like, keep rolling. They kept rolling. Y'all have no clue what goes on. Y'all have no idea what's going on. And it is a horrible, horrible thing that, believe it or not, doesn't just affect girls, but it also affects men who are involved as well. And I'm going to cover this in 2 different videos after this. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what it is that I want to say. So till the next one, I love y'all. Glory to King Jesus. I'll see you there.